Roguelikes are unfortunately a dime a dozen these days, but Going Under from developer Aggrocrab is something different. The comparisons to a game like Hades are certainly there, with a visual novel-inspired hub world where the player character can have developing conversations with a variety of characters, but in many ways, Going Under is really its own unique beast. It takes on the world of big tech, but goes much deeper, into a hilarious and charming critique of contemporary capitalism through the lens of colorful characters and monsters, all the while having a gameplay style that feels reminiscent of action RPGs like Dark Souls and Zelda. Going Under is really packing itself full of reasons to like it. Sure, a superficial look at the game could come away with an ironic position, where a game that seemingly aims to criticize the modern marketplace is being sold in, well, the modern marketplace. But that is an illogical perspective to take, since then no one would ever be able to criticize the current conditions they find themselves in. Ever. Going Under is just smarter than that. So smart, in fact, that I just gotta talk about it. In the game, you play as Jacqueline, a new intern at Fizzle, a flashy contemporary business that doesn't have cubicles or boring office architecture, but instead an open designer-looking space that screams, cool workplace. In reality though, Fizzle isn't just a drink vendor, but is instead built upon the backs of other businesses in the cubicle corporate chain. Fizzle isn't just a startup, it's a subsidiary of a larger capital network. And part of that means that someone must go and deal with the monsters that are in the basement of the building that Fizzle is located within. This is where the main hook of the game comes in. As Jacqueline, you're tasked with completing procedurally generated dungeons, where there's a boss at the end, awaiting defeat at your hands. But like most roguelikes, the dungeons are not easy, which is why multiple attempts at beating the dungeons are usually required before one can actually complete them. There's only 3 main levels, but you'll likely spend a lot of time trying to finish them, so it doesn't seem like it's lacking in content or anything like that. Actually, quite the opposite. It's brimming with creativity and impressive gameplay variety. To do all of these different gameplay styles all so well really goes to show the dedication and skill that developer Aggrocrab is bolstering. Seriously, for what looks like the developer's first game, Going Under is a massive critical success. This is a fantastic experience. Going Under is really my favorite roguelike, maybe ever. It's really that good and replayable. It's always got something interesting to see or happen from level run to level run. It doesn't quite have the variety and level of complexity that Hades has, but it has a more chaotic sense of randomness that I really appreciate. It knows exactly when to ease down, not going overboard with content to a fault or anything like that. It seems very well balanced. The way it manages to take all the best elements from so many different games and weave it all together into a sublimely original, yet still postmodern and referential game is a huge achievement. Not only this, but the game also has one of the best supporting casts of character I've ever had the pleasure of watching, or I guess in this case, reading. Every time you complete a character-specific side quest or complete a new level, new dialogue chains are made available to read, and man, are they well written. Not only are the characters visually designed well, but so too are their respective personalities, exacted through great comedic dynamics and conversations. I love Swamp the most, but every character in this cast has brilliant, memorable moments. Sure, some of their side quests can be difficult to complete, so seeing every single conversation might be a task only for the truly dedicated, but still, there's enough to keep virtually everyone entertained. I'm also going to upload a separate video with all of my favorite conversations from the game as well, in case you want to see more. Needless to say though, one quick glance at the script and one can tell that this is a heavily cynical, satirical collection of dialogue threads that doesn't take itself seriously, almost at all. Not only that, but many of the critiques of, quote, business culture and contemporary, quote, progressive capitalism go pretty deep in their articulation, going after myths around cryptocurrencies, labor rights, business ethics, and more. While you're not necessarily reading Das Kapital by Karl Marx or even something lighter like Psychopolitics by Byung-Chul Han, you are going to see the writers of this game flex a very engaging, hilarious, critical, and sardonic perspective. They make no bones about poking fun at corporate hierarchies or ridiculous workplace policy, and it makes for a great overall thematic and style to the game. I could easily imagine even the most hardened pro-market conservative enjoying the game and finding some of the jokes they have pretty funny. The aesthetics of the game are another highlight, with gorgeous environments, beautiful drawings and animations, and a smart use of minimalism overall. Its parodying of the notorious Allegra style of illustration is a brilliant way to incorporate less detailed character 3D models, but still infuse them with character. Sure, the weapons do break often and rather quickly, and stray explosions and fire damage can get pretty annoying at times, but that all just adds to the specific feel and challenge of the game, more than detracting from it, I'd say. Seriously, even when I'm trying to think of negatives for Going Under, I just kinda end up feeling like it adds to its uniqueness more than a problem for the game. Once you get used to the challenges and overall style of the game, it's hard to put down. Even after a long run, I end up wanting to get right back in and try again. There's plenty of abilities and various collectibles to acquire along the way as well. It just doesn't disappoint. Bravo, Aggrocrab, and bravo, Going Under. Seriously, don't miss out on this one. I know that some people say that internships are bad, but this one's pretty good.
Cubicle has your back.